He said he has his helmet.
40, 40, 40. Drop it!
How did two small kids get their hands on a loaded gun? That's a question that we've had ever since the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office released that drone video. And now that question, you could say, has even gone viral.
Bernalillo County Sheriff John Allen says those two young boys are lucky to be alive. And this is not the first or even second run-in deputies have had with this exact family. Sheriff Allen says they've been called to that family's home more than 50 times, and we are now learning much more about that history. For investigator Brittany Costello joins us now. So Brittany, you found out a lot about the history here with this family. I mean, from CYFD involvement to domestic violence allegations, even abuse accusations, right?
Right, and while we don't know what happened during all of those interactions with BCSO, we did find a report from just 1 week before deputies found those boys with a loaded gun in February. Court documents say a man living at their house pointed a gun at those boys and was overheard by a neighbor saying he would kill them. This is Gabriel Roybal. He is a convicted felon who has a lengthy criminal history. He is not the father of those two boys, but documents say he is the father of another child at that home. In February, the boys told police Roybal pointed a gun at them, saying he would hurt them. They described the gun as a silver and black gun, similar to what you see in that drone video here. So mom called deputies and filed an emergency order of protection. Documents say Roybal took off from the house. When police caught up with him, he did not have a gun and claimed he knows he's not allowed to have one. He was arrested and is being held on charges related to that incident.
So that silver and black gun that I don't know that people could see it in the video that we just showed, but in other video of that interaction, it's very clear. Was that Roybal's alleged gun, and could he be arrested for this situation here?
Well, BCSO is not commenting on that, saying they are actively investigating, but we've been doing our own reporting since we learned of all of this, and that reporting shows that weeks after Gabriel Roybal's arrest, a grand jury indicted him on many crimes, including making a firearm accessible to a minor, also known as Benny's Law. Sheriff Allen said Monday they've contacted CYFD over and over again. He says those boys always end up back at that home.
These children are not getting the proper care that they need. And everyone's going to say, am I throwing shade at the parents? Absolutely I am, because this is failing. They just dealt with law enforcement, and it was almost a deadly force encounter, which my deputies had to make a very difficult decision. With children being victims of domestic violence, seeing violent trauma, even have a firearm pointed at them, we can tell why their behavior is the way it is.
In the meantime, some lawmakers are fuming. We talked to Bernalillo County Senator Nicole Tobiasen, who says Sheriff Allen went back to actually count every call that they've had at that home and discovered they've been there 180 times. We have not been able to independently confirm that number, though.
If we continue to ignore their screams for help, which is really what this is, 180 times, and what they're doing is every time CYFD takes them back to that household, they're running away. They don't know another way. They don't know another way to express themselves. And we're basically fostering a lifetime cycle of crime in this state until we get down to the root cause.
Now, of course, we have reached out to CYFD and the governor's office asking for an interview. The governor is in D.C., and a spokesperson for CYFD says all of these months later, remember this happened in February, they are still trying to determine the facts of this.
180 times. They're 7 and 9 years old. I mean, that's twice a month that they've had interactions with investigators based on all of that. Wow. Okay. Brittany, thanks for the update.